Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, midway through the week. It makes no difference to me because any day of the week is the same for me, really. Although quite often at the weekend, I see the family. During the week, every day is the same, near enough. But today has been glorious. So glorious. I've managed to sit in my garden for way too long. I didn't get much done apart from coming up with ideas about what I want to plant in there this year, how I want it to go. So yeah, it's been a very relaxing day for me, and I'm sure it's going to be a relaxing hour for me now, as I go through some more designs with you. I'm thinking I want to do another child's design. So we're going to start on Printify. If we have enough time, we'll then go over to Canva, but we'll just see how we go. Probably be on for about an hour. So anyway, those of you that came in yesterday will recognize this, that I worked on yesterday. This was the Canva. This was the result of the Canva design I did. So I've actually lined up some music that I can play while this is on, just so that you get a rough idea of how it sounds, the fully completed thing where there's music that runs through it. So let's see if this is going to work. So there we go. That's the completed thing that we worked on yesterday. The completed short video, promo, whatever you want to call it, that I worked on yesterday. And we're going to be working on another children's one today. So I've got an idea in my head how I want it to go. So what we'll do is we'll now go over to Printify, because it's on Printify that I actually do my designing on. So let me get myself organized and get into said Printify. Right. So I need to go over to there, and then I can share it with you while I'm doing it, which I think is quite a nice thing to do. It's just another way of creating, isn't it? And I have to once again tell you that all these designs are all mine. I don't copy them from anyone. They're all 100% mine. So we're now over on Printify. Let me share my screen with you and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're over in Printify. Let's see if this looks better. I think it may do. Let me see. Or is it that one I prefer? Let's do that one, I think, because it's a bit bigger for you, isn't it? So last night I did a in that same design, I did a swimsuit, which I thought I was quite happy with, actually. I thought it looked quite nice. So I'll probably be doing more swimsuits in the future. This is one that they call their classic, and I think it's because they've got like the deep or the thick stripes as the shoulders. They've got other ones with like really thin stripes, but personally I'd probably go for this type because it's thicker. It's probably holds you up a bit more. And for those bigger busted, we need as much support as we could possibly get. So this is the one that I worked on last night. I'm quite happy with it. But I think what I'm going to do is do some more before I actually put them up in my store. So let's go back into children, okay? And as I said before, yesterday, this is the only girl they have, the only girl dress, which is, a little bit disappointing, but there you go. Now, what I'm going to do is see, I had an idea because I know I've done some like this in the using this design. So, but I haven't done a little girl's dress in it. These are the ones I'm thinking. I'm thinking of teddy bears. So let me see. But what I'm going to do, I think I have done a teddy bear girl in the past, but I think what I'm going to do is make it with another design with it. So let's just see. See, these are PNG pictures. No, they're not. They're white. They've got white backgrounds. I thought they're PNG for a second there. So what I'm thinking of doing is, let's see what we can do. We can alternate the teddies. I mean, they may still be a bit big for what I want them to do, but we'll see. So this is the front top. Let's see what other ones I've got. So there's that one. There's that one. Is it the same? No, the eyes are different on this one. Okay, it's interesting. So I have so much fun doing these. I might do some more. Animal pictures. It's fun. And now, because they're not a PNG, that means that they're not transparent background. I can't get them as close as I might want to have got them. So I don't know if this is actually going to work. We may have to make them smaller, which isn't an issue because it's like a little girl's dress. So it should be all right. So I need to check the sizes as I go along. So the size of that is 3.5. That is, well, hang on a second. Yeah, 3.5. So that should be 3.5. 5. That needs to be 3.5. And that needs to be 3.5. Okay, so let's see. Might be able to get them a bit closer to each other and you know, get 4 in here, which is what I originally planned. So, okay, so we know that they're all exactly the same size. Let's see. Let's see how it looks. That looks quite pretty. I'm not going to go on about what I think about the models again tonight. Right now, what I'm thinking, it might not work, but it might. So what I'm thinking is add in another print to this, but I'm not sure which one. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's, I don't know. That's quite a pretty print, you see, and that's quite big. But, okay, that's going to go underneath that. In order to make it go on the top of it, I'd have to take them all out and do it again, I think. Does it allow me to? Let's see. No, it doesn't. I'm not sure if that goes with it anyway. I mean, what we can do is sort of do it so it's only, say, down to there. Let's have a look on the preview. Oh, that's quite pretty. What do we think? What do we think? Let's see that. No, let's see the bottom and let's see if it works with that on the bottom. Where is that? I've gone past it. Right, okay, so that's okay, let's make it small. I'm not sure about using like big patterns on kids' dresses. So I can sort of do it like that. I like that on the bottom. I think that looks really nice on the bottom. Okay, let's see. That looks kind of cute. So do we need to bring the pink down? Do we need to bring the pink down some more? That's what I'm thinking. So let's see. But in order to bring the pink down, I think, okay. So if we bring the pink down, say, to there, and then repeat it. How's that? Why is that not clicking off? Okay, there's a line. All right, so let's try that. Oh, that's kind of cute. That is kind of cute. I like the birds. I like the teddies. Obviously, we can change the background to the teddies so that it's not white. I think this is about the only time that I don't really like looking at the preview. I mean, okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can change. I've just had a thought. I don't know, because I've pushed them up to each other. I'm not sure if we're going to get any background color. Let's see. Let's do purple. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's a nice contrast there. I'm trying to decide whether to make these smaller. Let me see. So what if we bring that over there more, then the birds further over, that over more, and you see more of the birds. That one. How's that? I think we're getting there. I don't know. Okay, we need to think about that. Now, what's this grey? I don't know what that grey is there. Oh, okay. That's that. So that is coming out there. So that must be the white bit that's showing through. So a white bit. Yeah. So that shows where it ends. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. You see if there's another design. And the green's quite nice, isn't it? Try that green. Bring it down to there, and then no, there, and up to there. So that cuts off that purple. I don't know whether it's even worth doing that. It just adds a little bit of interest, I think. As if there isn't enough things on there. Yeah, see, it's just got a little bit of green there. And there should be a little bit of green. Yeah, and a little bit of green there. So not sure about the teddy bears yet. We'll have to make up my mind a bit later. If I'm not 100% sure, I don't use it. What am I doing? Okay, I want to try something else. So if I put them on, right, and then I can add the teddies on top of that, if I can find the teddies. The other option is to use one of these. Right, but that's on white. Again. Okay. So let's see what looks better. Let's just see. Let's just mess around with it for a bit. Make that a bit bigger. Okay. I don't know if this is going to look right or not, but no harm in trying. And the best thing is you don't have to stick with it. If you don't like it, then just get rid. That's what I do anyway. let's see if she... Right, so now we're not in the middle where we should be. Still not quite, but I just want to see what it looks like. Which one I prefer, with the teddies or with the faces. Quite like the faces. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's try something else. Let's see how this looks. Oh, I've left a gap. Oh, we should just shift it over. Okay, I don't know whether I like the two together or not yet. Just playing. It's funny, I always design much quicker for adult women. Little girls I'm never sure about. Don't like that on there. What we could do is just like leave it plain like that, couldn't we? Yeah. Okay. Right. Decision made. Get rid of the faces. And on the other side, still not sure whether I like the teddies or not. Do I like the teddies? It's difficult. Right, I'll make a decision later. So, okay, so we've got the pink flowers, or not flowers, birdies. Let's see if we add, because I've got a if we add birds with that, should we add birds right into the middle? Right. Problem is, when I'm doing these tutorials, I'm not in the middle. I'm not looking at the screen in the middle. So my designs could actually be quite off. Right, well, what I want to do is make that smaller. Okay. And okay. So you have to bear in mind the cut of this, the cut of the dress could be very different. What size is that one? 1914. So 1914. 1914, that's the same size. Now there's many ways that I could do this. I need it to start there, I think. So there's many ways I can do this, but yeah, so I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, so we've got similar birds coming in there. All right, let's see how it looks anyway before we go any further. Still not sure about the teddy bears on there, but okay. That's quite different. Let me see. Has it got too much green on there? Okay. I think I like that. I think I like it. But I want to try something a little different. So what if we go from the middle and then make it go out the other way? So what if okay, now it's got to be in the middle. Otherwise it's not gonna work, is it? How's that? It's not in the middle, is it? Is that in the middle? Is that's not in the middle. That's the middle. Okay, let's see if that works. Just had an idea when I looked at the design. I think we might be getting there, but I don't know if we need the teddies. You know, that actually, I quite like that. Okay. I don't know if I like the teddies. And if I don't like them, they'll have to go. Teddies and birds. I'm getting rid of the teddies, guys. Just not working for me. Right, so we've got it on a purple dress. So the purple gives it another colour, which I think works quite well. We can also bring that down more. Let's see. And, you know, I think that actually looks quite nice. What do we think? Let's bring that down. Where are we? That's the pink. Okay. Bring the pink down. Bring the bird. Ah, yeah, we could have an asymmetric design on that, couldn't we? Just to make it a little more interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Yup. That's my kind of design with a bit of asymmetry in it. I quite like that. I think that's quite funky. Okay. Okay. Bird in the middle. That looks quite nice. Yup. It's quite a stunning little dress, I think. Let's do the back. We could do the back differently. We could have the green. Bring in the green, but have the purple in the middle of it instead of the other one, instead of the pink. What was the size of it again? Let's see the size of it. 1914. 1914. 1914. If we do that, turn it like that. Yeah. Quite like the birds to be a bit smaller, but can't really do it. Well, we could, but it'd be a bit fiddly. We'll see. And this one, I think I got that in the middle. A bit quicker than the other one. Right. Okay, so that's the front. That's the back. See, I think that works. Yeah. Front. Back. Yeah, just about in the middle. Side. Okay. So at the back, why is that purple? So it's green. Green. Okay. I'm not sure why that looks purple. It must be the way the dress has fallen. So yeah, so from the side, it's all green. This side, it's green, but the way the dress has sort of fallen, it looks like purple there. The back. Okay. And the front. I quite like that. I'm just trying to think if I've got anything else I could add to that to just make it pop a little bit more. I'm all about the popping when it comes to clothes design even. I'll do all that afterwards. Okay. I could make them smaller. Let's do that. That's back top. So let's put my trademark on it before I go any further. Not on that one. Is it on that one? I just seen something that might go with it. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. Let's put that one on. There we go. So it normally goes in the corner there. Right. The other thing I just had an idea about is what colour do you think would go with this? I'm tempted. I don't know whether that'll work, but because I don't want the ribbon. But do we want plain black? Not really. No, that's not going to work. Let's see. See, I've got these other teddies. Maybe I could do a yellow dress with teddies on it. No. No, what am I trying to find here? Trying to find something else. Just to add that little something else. Oh, got it in black. Didn't realise I'd got it in black. Okay. So that's that's on the front. Okay, or could do something like that. But it would have to be no. What I'm thinking is something more along the lines of that. It might not look right, but just an idea. And then let's have that on that side as well. Further down there, down to there. I don't know if that's going to look right. But we don't know till we try, do we? We always have to try. That's interesting. Very interesting. I'm just trying to think if I've got another design quite like that. But I think because it's like a loose skirt. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it needs to be smaller. I wonder. Or either or. That or that. Right, that's. We don't need that much. It's just an idea. Is that about the same? Let's see. Not sure. Okay. Let's see what it looks on. Can't see it because her hands are in front of it. That's annoying. That's annoying. No. This is why I have to say, I do get frustrated with doing these girls' dresses because I can't see what I want to be seeing purely because of the way the model is modeling it, and it's so frustrating for me. Oh, geez Louise. So I want to try something here. So we'll move that to there. Let me try. What's that one? Same one. So do we want the, let's flip it. No. Okay. Let's see what the black looks like on it. Just a thin line. I don't think it's going to work, but that's just at the back. I think I could do it better. I think. So let's look and see which other ones may fit in with that. That's a good thing about having so much artwork online. I don't have to go looking for, oh, why has that got that on it? Okay, no. I don't have to look too far for it. There's always loads. I've got loads of it on here. So what colours have we got? Like green and that. Right, we've got a pale pink. Pale pink. What else have we got? I've got 20 pages of artwork here. You'd think I could find something. Quite often use this as a sort of, when I'm looking to do something like this, I quite often use this one. Let's spin it. It's better colouring. I don't know how that's going to look with the green. Well, it could, but see, whatever I use there as a band, I would probably incorporate it into the, you know, the bottom of the dress, but I don't really want, I don't think I really want that one. So, what else have we got? I'm not sure if I want black on a little girl's dress. Remember the skirt is, I have to remember the skirt is mainly green as well, so that's got to fit in with it too. Also, because I've got birds, I suppose I could have flowers. This one, I wonder what that would look like with the green. So I have to think more of the green, I think. If I make that smaller. It's not really working. Is that? Let's see. On the back. No, it's not working. Colours to go with the green. Let's try that one. These are all my fractals. That's when you've got a piece of artwork and you make it into like, you know, different designs, different shapes and things. That could work with the green. It does actually work with the green. Let's see then. Let's see. Okay, and then let's try it with the green at the front. First things first. Front top. Let's see if we can incorporate this into here. Okay. Let's see if that works. It's a shame these bits are just so green, like, you know, without the birds. Don't know. Right, let's see how we go with this now. So that's the same, doesn't have to be the same, but that's about the same, is it? Or is that a bit lower? It's about the same. Now let's try the front bottom. Could all be a complete disaster, but it's the nearest I've got to some sort of coordination at the moment. Okay, so it's quite a small one. Let's see how we like that. Guys, I think I'm going to have to take down some of the things that I've got on here. I don't know. The thing is, the fractals are always much smaller than the other ones. I don't know. I don't know. We've been doing this for 50 minutes now, and I'm still not 100% happy with this. Don't know if that's the right kind of design to have with it. So, get rid. You have to be quite sort of harsh with yourself sometimes. If I'm not liking it, then not liking it. Really is as simple as that. No, that's not going to go. Let's see if we can find something else. These are small ones, but they might. No. Try that. That's it. Try that. And then the top. I think I'm preferring this look. It's got to sort of have some kind of thread. Why did that come up bigger? I don't know. Right, so let's go there, flip it up, and there, flip it, And there. And there. Oh, that's exactly the same then, so flip it again. Let's see. Oh, I'm an idiot. I put that on the back, didn't I? Instead of where I'd already put the put it on the thing. Oh. Sometimes you have an idea in your head, and when it doesn't come to fruition, it's not only frustrating, but it's annoying. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's see. So that's on the back. We need to sort that front one out, don't we? Front top. And where's it gone? Where's it gone? Okay, let's see how high we want that. We don't want it too high. So let's see if it's going to work or not. Right, let's see. I think it's kind of working. May have to put this one aside until I can decide if I'm happy with it or not. I thought I was, but I don't know. So I always think I'm always a bit nervous about putting little girls in white dresses, but I think the contrast probably with the 3 different patterns on it probably looks better on the white. I think. Oh, this has kind of scuppered me a bit, and it which is It does happen sometimes. And you're like, nope, don't like it. It's not what I wanted. Don't like it. So, what is it I don't like? Hard. What is it I don't like? On the back. Let's see. I'm loath to, I mean, I realise normally if I've got like a really bright colour like this pink, I'll put in a black accent colour, but I can't in this one. Whoops. I made the wrong one there. I wonder if that would go better. Because purple and green go quite nice together. Okay, let's try this one. Oops, purple and dark purple and green go quite nicely together. Now I've gone and lost it. Well, that was rather clever. I read. Jeez Louise, what am I doing? Right, that's a different one, isn't it? Oh, God. Did I make it smaller? How did that work? Is that a different one? It's a different one. Fool. Where's it gone? Where's that one gone that I had? Wasn't that, was it? Same one, actually. These are so small, though. So I might not want... No, that's got an edge to it. I don't know what that's doing in there. That must have been in one of my collagey ones. Yeah, it's very small as well, so I'll get rid of that one. Now I've gone and lost. Oh, it's the one that I had. Gone and lost it. It's gone. Forever. White. I think the problem for me is that it's a pink, it's a bright pink, and it's a bright green. Hello, am I making much? Not really. I've got an art store. I've got an online store, and this is how I'm just showing. I'm just doing this tutorial showing how to use Printify. No, that's not a tank top. That's the top of a little girl's dress. If I show you the dress, it's like this, but I'm not happy with it, so I'm trying all different designs on it because I'm not happy with it. So I'm just trying to, I've got a backlog. Thanks for popping in. It's nice to see you. Are you interested in the arts? Do you like art? Yeah, so I'm basically trying to, because I've got, right, this is the dress. Right, so I've got a green pattern there and pink, and I'm trying to find something else to sort of to go with it without it taken away from, you know, the prettiness of the designs. And I'm failing very badly today. Oh, you've seen, oh, have you? Yeah, I'm I do go in there. I do like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my little corner of the universe that is trouble-free. um, Sometimes, you know, I have a few people in here, but quite honestly, I put this up for people that are, you know, interested in art, and you know, I design clothes basically, um, or prints to go onto clothes. Oh, you like the arts. Oh, that's nice. You should have a look at my my art playlist, because I've got quite a lot of artwork on there, and different kinds of art on there. I'm actually an abstract artist, but I do a bit of I do a bit of designing, you know, for clothes as well. So when Yo Mama was talking about uh the shirts, you know, I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I designed some of those as well. So that kind of made me laugh a bit. And I did send him a copy, um, you know, a couple of pictures of some of my shirts. Hey, Edna, sweetheart, how are you? Are you good today? Edna, I'm struggling. I'm struggling today. And I know why it is, and you don't want to hear why it is. It's because of the little girl. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the little girl. So I'll show you the dress. Edna likes to give me some advice. Oh, you can doodle, yeah. I took art history in high school. I thought it was going pretty boring, but ended up loving it and got more into art history. Oh, okay. That's interesting. If you have a look on this design, that's doodles. I do doodles as well. I do them on my computer, and then I put them on clothing. I love doodles. So we're really struggling. We're really struggling today. I'm trying to find something that's going to go with the dress. Did I show you the dress, Edna? Don't know if I did. Right. I decided to come on. Oh, I decided to come on early tonight because I've been just so late the last couple of nights. And although I'm a night owl, I've got to try and get myself a better bedtime. It's no good. So, Fupa Tales comes from Yo Mama's chat, Edna, that I frequent in. I just go in there to troll Fupa chat. I call you Fupa. I just go in there to troll. But I do like Yo Mama, although I know some people don't, but I actually quite like him. He reminds me of my sons, I think. Do you know, we're not getting anywhere with this dress, guys. We're not getting anywhere. I'm just not liking it at all now. The more I'm looking at it, the more I don't like it. So I've wasted a whole hour creating a design that I don't like. So that's a bit of a disaster, darling. And I think the thing I don't like is the green. I'm going to get rid of it. Going to get rid of the green. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You do them while sitting at my desk at work. Yeah, that's when I used to doodle. Yeah. What kind of thing do you doodle, though? Because I always doodle, like, pretty things, but some people just doodle boxes and, it's quite interesting to hear what other people doodle. No, I'm gonna try that one. I'm not sure if it works, but oh, it's tiny as well. Yeah, see, I thought that as well. I did think that as well, but then I don't know, I don't like him I don't like the way he keeps, bigging up, Foodie. It's like, no. So, but I do like him. I sub to his blooming channel. I must like him. But I get all the trolls in there and they all hate me. I'm not liked over there. If it's an angry custom, I think of scary monster, their their voice bits. Yeah. I don't spend much time in that world because it's just it's too much. So I like to be sat over here in my own little area and just doing my own things. I used to have, you know, many more people come into my chats when I was happy to talk about other things, but I'm kind of done with that now. Doesn't appeal to me anymore. I'd much rather be doing this. Even if, you know, I don't get anyone in, and I only get, you know, very few views, I'd still rather be doing this. It's all down to choice, isn't it, really? Let's see how we're getting on with this. Kind of. The colours are better. Not liking it, guys. That's that. I'm not liking it. No, we're going to call this a failure. We're going to call this a tutorial failure. But the good thing is, I don't like it. The good thing is, with tutorials, it's all about showing how things work. And it also shows that being an artist doesn't necessarily mean you get everything right. What's this? Oh, that sounds nice. Doves. Doves and roses. Oh, that's lovely. I like that. I just find that now it's just gotten to be redundant and just people grasping at straws to talk about. Yes, I agree with you. What more can be said? That's the thing. What more can be said? So I like to see, I'll show you some of my other designs, I think, before I go. I ordered this for myself last night. Couldn't help it because I love it. I love this dress. So I ordered it for myself. I think the sooner people try and do something else in their live streams, the better it'll be, you know. This is a dress I've ordered for myself. I think it's gonna look fabulous. Right. Well, I don't like Chantel. A lot of the reaction channels are no better. I agree. I agree. Like, who cares if yeah. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you. I can't. It's just so insignificant in my life. I just can't. I just can't, you know, pay any notice to it anymore. It's just ridiculous. And it's like I've always said, she's an absolute troll, 100%. The reaction channels are more interesting to talk about. I know. You're right. You're absolutely right. They are. Right, hang on one sec. I think I'm gonna call this tutorial done, even though we didn't come out with a design that I was happy with. It doesn't really matter because it's still a tutorial. There are other ones out there if you want to check out my site. So these are the other ones I've done recently. There's lots of them. As I said the other day, I really struggle with the kids ones, and it's not just so much they hang on, we have to do that one again. It never works when I do it like that, annoyingly. Let's see. I just really struggle with the girl ones, which is a shame because I'd love to make more girls' dresses, but I really struggle with it. And if it doesn't come straight away, then I do struggle a hell of a lot. And I don't want to blame the child, but I just think there's a better way to show off this dress, which is quite a pretty little sundress. But I just don't think that the poses are good enough. I just don't think they're good enough. Right, what are we saying here? Just like, yes, I know. Hasn't she proved herself lately? Hasn't she? It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, Edna's in there. She loves all the goss. I know. And to be honest, so am I. I'm not gonna lie. I quite often, I suppose you could say it's a bit of a guilty pleasure when I've sort of finished doing what I need to do for the day, is just to sit and watch them. It's a bit like watching garbage TV, isn't it? So I must confess that I do that sometimes. Edna, have you got half an hour to come on? Do you want to come on for half an hour? Or not? It's entirely up to you. Edna quite often comes up and we shoot the so and so. She's just been flying off the handle. And I'm just sitting here like, ma'am, is that serious? Do you know what? It's difficult, isn't it? Because I'll be honest, I first found breathing not that long ago, and she came across sweet, innocent, and just I thought she was a homely girl. You know, like that song, "Homely girl, used to be so lonely. You're a beautiful woman." Yeah, that one. And she used to paint. Now, as an artist, I found that really interesting. So that's why and how I found her. And gradually, over the months, I've realized, oh my God, she's quite the opposite, isn't she? She is just such a different person. I think she's passive aggressive. and she sort of gets away with it because she puts on the sweet voice, but most people realize that the sweet voice means nothing now. Um, and yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. I'm quite surprised at how she tends to sort of gaslight people. I mean, I'm not one of these that thinks, oh, well, if you're fat, you can't react to another fat person. I don't believe in that. I think you should be able to react no matter what you are or who you are. Um, so yeah, I forgot where I was going there, but we have Edna. We have Edna on board. Hello, my darling. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Are you still chilled?
Good. Right?
Are you
Yes,
still
I
chilled?
am.
Oh my
I was
god.
trying to play it cool, but I am still very relaxed.
Well, I'm done with my tutorial. I think that's how I'm
Nice.
gonna do these lives. I'm gonna do the tutorial first, and then if anyone's around, open the floor up, um, and, sort of do it that way. But, what's that I can hear? You got something
Sure.
going on?
Oh, I live off of a busy enough road, so you're probably just hearing
Oh
a
my
motorcycle
god,
or
you've got the
something.
windows open. So it looks
Yeah,
like
that's.
somebody wants to talk a bit of drama, so we can
Oh, we
talk
have
for a little
comments.
while
What's
about
going on?
drama.
Let's see.
Let's
Fupa
see.
Tales.
Yeah. I think she was coddled a lot in life because seems just handle things so much like a child. I think so too. I think so
Mm-hmm.
too. And I think, which I hadn't really seen before, I think she's quite entitled. I think, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why she's done some of the sort of unmentionables, like fighting with her granddad. I think she
Oh,
is
you know what? I'm not even sure who we're talking about.
just breathe
So who's
in,
the she? Oh,
just
okay.
breathe
I
in.
don't watch her, so I'm not as familiar with her. So
Okay, have
what's
you?
the deal with her and her granddad?
Oh, well, she is a recovering addict.
Mhm.
I don't know whether it's booze, is it? I think it's booze she's recovering from. And in her worst moments, she was quite violent, apparently, allegedly. And somebody found court records of her being arrested for assaulting her stepfather. Uh,
Oh, okay.
she has addressed it and said, it was due to her being intoxicated.
Mhm.
But obviously, people that are coming for her now will obviously bring that up and use that, quite rightly so, as a way of, putting her back in her place. I see no excuse whatsoever, um, for laying hands on anyone, especially anyone in your family, and especially your granddad. Oh, apparently she's had a DUI recently as well.
Um, you
So,
know, I have to say, people just because they get older, just because they're related to you, doesn't mean that they won't try you, you know? And I'm not a violent person, but I've definitely had to remove myself from some situations uh, that could have gone very violent. So, or had others removed, because um, some it was I placed myself in the situation, so it was on me to take myself out of it. The other ones were, it was like a roommate where she came in and decided that she didn't like me, so I had to help her let her know that she had other options, kind of situation. but it's unfortunate, but sometimes people don't understand unless you get violent with them.
Yeah, I know, but you can't be knocking your granddad around. Come on, Edna.
Oh, absolutely not. But also that's why I wasn't around my girl. Like
Okay, now Edna,
people people
can
make
you
different life decisions. So, but I'm just saying, like they wanted her to be around, and Granddad was acting up. Why? The thing is, just I don't know. I'm just relaxed, right? And I'm thinking, if everybody know Breezy got a problem drinking, one, why we let her drink? B, why we let Granddad mess with her when she drinking? Three, I mean, it's like
This is what
there's
I
a
love
lot of
about
different there's a lot of different moving pieces here. But go ahead. It's all right.
this is what I love about Edna. Edna is the complete opposite to me. She'll come on and she says she's the I'm the yin to her yang. She's the yang to my yin. We never agree on anything. She'll come out with things that are completely left field as far as I'm concerned. What I want to say though, Edna, can you chat to Super about this? Super Tales
Oh, Patel,
about what
sure.
she's written on here while I go and get myself a drink because I am parched.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I just took all the you don't know what to say. The woman is too stunned. So Fuba tells. I think she tried saying she was charged because her granddad tried and get rough. She had to stop him, but it was still seen as abuse. LOL, and the speaking facts. Thank you, Fupa Tales, because I mean, uh, we look at tea and sass, right? And I understand respecting your elders and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not. I don't feel bad for the lady now after she talked all big and bad about calling the authorities in Saudi on Chantal in Kuwait that she wants to put a few tens of cameras in her home. First of all, you probably should have cameras in your home, period. It's a crazy time. Being anyway, because I want to know why letting family lush watch that too. Why are you letting see they're mad because they got called out for not taking care of grandpa. And if you ask me, it sounds like Breezy is just the scapegoat.
Do you think
Not that
so?
she's
I
not that
haven't
she's
even
right,
looked at that. I've
but
never
she's
even
not
thought of it.
100% wrong.
Oh, I did a video, a short video. I don't suppose you saw it, where it's called "Respect Your Elders,"
I
and
think I did.
I had my say on it, and I realised neither of you are going to agree
No, I was
with
gonna
what I
say
said.
I might not have commented because I think I get it. Just being uh, I like my language is kind of come across as insensitive or something, but I understand um the value in just making it to a certain age. But
Yeah,
also
we should be
there's
celebrated. Us old fogies should be celebrated, not put down,
yes, but
not set
but not
upon.
when you're not keeping up with the times. It's like you can't just live, but you gotta like keep up with the changes that inevitably come with time passing.
Mm. Well, my kids, they're always keeping me in check.
Right? It's like I feel it too, and everybody likes to tell me how old I'm not, and I'm like, listen, I see these kids now, these Gen Zers and this Gen Alpha. I don't know what they're talking about on God and this. listen, just a different language. Can't even tell you how they speak.
When she said she was gonna have the Saudi called, um, I was like, "Oh no, someone take the laptop away from grandma." Or
Right?
grand yeah. Have you, oh, you're talking about T and Sass. Edna, do you know who T and Sass is?
Yes, that's who I was just speaking about.
Oh, okay. So what do we think of see, I think right, okay, this is my channel, I can say what I think, okay.
Yes, ma'am. We're ready. I'm holding on.
You're holding on. I think with T and Sass, she's she's feisty, she's lonely, she's found something that she enjoys doing. She likes to be on the camera. She likes to hear herself speak, and she likes to give her opinion. The problem with her is or with her situation is that she's in a community where people will call you out. It doesn't matter how old you are, what you look like, what what nationality, what religion, whatever. They are going to call you out and they are going to pick on the thing that is the most obvious.
Hmm.
And in her case, it's her age. And the thing I
Well,
don't
it
like.
was kind of the age, but everybody was like, you can't just get on her because of the age. Because I think very quickly people were like, that's not because I think that was Chantal's first criticism was that, oh, you're just old. And
Mhm.
everybody's saying, every rightfully supported teen staff saying, you'll be lucky to get to that age. So we give her that. But then
Yeah,
it came about with the racism. That was the first criticism that I was like, oh, well, all right, grandma, it's like
yeah.
right
She
is right,
very
wrong
sort
is
of like
wrong.
yeah, she's just a typical Brit, I'm afraid. She's a typical older generation Brit, um, who has no idea what it's like to be black in the UK and doesn't understand how we may have been offended by companies, um, that that put gollywogs on as their trademark. She wouldn't understand
Right.
that. She just wouldn't understand it, and I did
And
bring that
she's
up in the
dealing with
video.
with yeah, and the thing is it's like at her age, at her whatever, her life, she's not trying to understand those struggles.
She
Because
doesn't
she's
care.
a
She doesn't
huh?
care. It's as simple as that,
Yeah.
and, I mean, if is that it is that a reason for her to be scared for her life? No, I don't think so.
I
Um,
mean, if there's a whole group of people that I don't care about, when I encounter those people, I would be concerned because if I can't connect to somebody, I would be afraid.
what do you
Right?
mean?
I mean,
If you can't understand them, you mean that you feel that she should be more understanding of black people?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Then
and
she
I
wouldn't
agree with
be
you.
afraid. Yeah.
I do agree with you, but I think you have to understand it's like we've said before, and I think, it's very apparent to me now, a lot more now than it's ever been, the difference between racism in our two countries. Over here, it's very different to
Hmm.
how you are um, or how you deal with it in America. In America, I did this funny little video once where I say, in England, racism is very much swept under the carpet, and that's across the the races and also across the ages and across everything in the United Kingdom.
Because the
Racism
isms are
is
kind of not talked
crushed.
about.
Pardon?
the different isms aren't really spoken about. It's just kind of like the people just part their ways
Yeah.
amicably or however they, like to gloss over it, but they don't really speak upon what it actually is.
Yeah, because a lot of and I think more so the older generation, um, they just don't understand it. They can't comprehend it. And that could be because they've never lived in an environment, they've never lived in an area that's been highly populated with Black people. They've never paid
Mm.
any attention to what's been said online. But then you can't really blame them because if it's not put out there for them to understand, unless they're of a mind to go and seek information about it, to research it, they're never gonna see it, are they? And, the
Maybe
BBC.
I'm the wrong one. I have no compassion, no whatever for people who don't understand someone's struggles because I feel like I've had to be like compassionate or compromising my whole life when it comes to whatever reason. I'm uh, I'm just like I don't care. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
like
do
tough
understand.
cookies.
I
If
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but it's like Fupa says, Tea and Sass is from a different time compared to me, so I take her with a grain of salt. Her generation is not going under microaggression and anti-black culture. Yeah, it it it's like it's really difficult for me to sort of put it into words because I see it from both sides. Firstly, because I'm mixed race, and
Mhm.
over here, I've suffered racism from both sides, from the blacks and from the whites. So, and being brought up in like a white environment, a white middle class environment, I'm very aware of the racial stereotypes that went un- unchallenged. I was brought
Right.
up with that. Whereas if I was brought up, say, on a council estate in, say, Brixton, which is it's very highly populated with black people, I would have a completely different outlook on racism in the UK. So it is difficult for me to just cut off somebody like T and Sass because because I've lived it and I know what it's like to I can understand what it's like to be a white person in their 70s who doesn't understand what me as a mixed race person has gone through in my country, and it is my
Right.
country. I was
No, I
born here.
understand that. It's fascinating because it's like just the difference in speaking to you and speaking to Timber, where Timber's son is mixed race, but he would consider himself, or I believe he does consider himself, completely black. And you're like, absolutely, he's not black. He's mixed race, and it's
How can
like
he be black? How can he be black if he's got
that's
white in
what
him?
that's
Has
what
he
I'm
got
saying. That's just the difference of culture or how we've been like our brains have been programmed in such a way. It's
Mm,
fascinating.
it
Like when
is.
people talk about race and how it's really a social construct and this, that, and the other, it truly is.
Mm, it is, and, the thing is everybody's got a different story, but I do feel that it's definitely different. It's got different vibes in America, and dare I
Yeah.
say,
Well,
I think
also,
a lot more violent in
what
America.
that's
The
what I was gonna say. When
racism.
you add the trauma
Yeah.
of like the wounds that develop and are never really fully healed,
Mm,
where it's like, okay, so I consider myself black, like African American.
Yeah.
Um, Descendant of enslaved people is kind of like a given, but not like I can't track it to like a plantation
That's
or what
where,
have you.
dare I say, most black people do
Right. And it's
are descendants of black Africans. I am. My
But the
ancestors.
thing is, it's not 100% though. So, and it's where the other, for me, it's about mm, 12 to 15% where that comes in, and or maybe it's like 15 to 18%. And it's like for me, it's not enough to say much. I still consider myself mainly African, West African, Black. Leave it at that. But you have some people who have different hair texture, a lighter complexion, X, Y, and Z, and it gives they're gonna get a lot more questions where someone looks at me and they're not, it's not, I'm not like, oh, what do you mix with whatever? It's just like, oh yeah, your hair's a little fine or whatever. You could, I could see X, Y, and Z, or you're a little yellow tone or whatever. But like I've come across people who, because they're more of a mix and they don't have that sense of identity, um, for whatever reason, or well, not for whatever reason, we know because of slavery and its lasting effects still to today, but because they don't have any like modern sense of culture, or a healthy sense of culture or anything, that extra gets to them, and I can see it, like that 2% or 5% or what have you of Asian or Mexican, or however the test categorize it, and it creates a hatred within them that they point outward. So when they see other people that look like them, or that or that they think um are black, but are not like African, in the sense that they can't pinpoint a country of origin, or what have you, in the same way, or that I would, as just like general African American. It it's in the culture. I think that's where the violent culture and nature comes about. That's why it's way more violent here with the racism, even with like when you say black on black crime or just the crime in general, because you have so many people that are lost, like they don't know who they are, literally.
Yeah. I mean, I could say this. That's the story of my life. That there is the story of my life. I have only recently found out where my ancestors are. I've lived
Mm,
my whole life not knowing, but it doesn't make how can I put it? It makes me feel that at last my feet are on the ground. At last I know my roots, but with that comes a great sadness for what my ancestors went through.
right,
I find, yeah, and that's what I will struggle with for the rest of my life. I mean, I've always been aware, obviously, I've got brown skin, so obviously I knew that there was some, you know, I haven't just got a tan, put it that way. But
right,
now that I can pinpoint exactly where my ancestors come from, it fills me, it fills me with excitement and contentment, but it also fills me with sadness at what they suffered, what they endured. And yeah, and it fills me with disgust. And so I feel very strongly about that, but there's no way I can't go around calling myself a black person because I'm not, because my mother's white. So, but I know, but having said that, I am seen as a black woman over here because because of the color of my skin, I'm seen as a black woman, and because of my features, they, I'm the personification of what they see as a black person, but they don't know, or, they don't know where my ancestors come from. Half of them come from Europe. and half of them come from Africa. But I don't really know. I've not really studied um, too much about the ancestry of the Black American, but I know that, and I don't want to say the wrong thing and get it all wrong, but as far as I know, the Native Americans were the ones that they're not from Africa, are they? Did they originate from Africa, the Native Americans?
No, my understanding is that Native Americans are native to what we know as America, like Northern America. So, uh, like what?
What were you saying? The Native Americans were what?
Native to America. I don't mean I'm not like laughing at you, Jen. It's just
Why? Why are you
I'm just
laughing?
relaxed. I'm just relaxed, and it just sounds you're just like I don't mean to make this as a silly question. It's like, of course, no. I mean, I'm not Native American. I mean maybe um
No,
depending on like
the
but
Native
I don't
Americans, as far from yeah, no, hang on, let me read this. I think Fupa may know a bit more than you. You just carry on
yeah.
chewing on whatever you're chewing on. No, Native Americans are native to Africa. No, no, right. Aren't the Native Americans like the Indians that lived like hang on a second, I'm probably gonna get this all wrong. This was
Yeah,
their
that's what
land and
I'm
the white
saying.
settlers stole it. Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by Native Americans. They were the ones that, used to ride the horses and, um, were what we used to call Indians, and like
Mhm.
cowboy
But
films. They were like the
mhm.
Indians, but they are like the natives of America. So
Let's see, Timber is at least part native. She would be better to speak.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
that'd be quite
Jackie
interesting.
Hawkins, I believe. Yeah, because honestly, I'm not.
You don't
It's
know,
like a
do
joke.
you?
I have no idea, and there's like a joke among African Americans that there's some Indian in us or whatever. But I'm not one of those people. Like I'm not for a Native American. I don't identify really. So.
I tell you what, that our ancestors have a hell of a lot of explaining to do. When we get to heaven, we need to have
Hmm.
words with them and say, "What the hell were you doing?" Um, and I mean, I call myself well, I'm British. I was born here, but I'm happiest when I can call myself mixed race. I prefer that. I prefer
Hmm.
to say I'm mixed race because that's what I am, and I'm not happy with how, the Brits have been. The British, Empire was disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Oh, are you
Um,
talking about with Meghan and Harry? How that
no, oh
unfolded?
goodness,
No.
what are you doing?
Uh-oh. What are we
You're
I don't
so
know. What are we talking about,
funny.
Jen?
First Nation people, because their roots are from there or from here. Do you
All
know, I
right.
think I'm gonna do some
Well, I
research
mean,
on
excuse me.
American
The
on
Brits have done a lot with what is it, cannoli? I can never say this word right. Colonialism. Ah, I'm butchering it. Say it for me, Jen.
do you know what? Sometimes you astound me, Edna. The British Empire. Is that Harry and Meghan? No, it's not Harry and Meghan. The British Empire goes back hundreds of years when we used to sail out on boats and we started the slave trade. It was when the slave trade was going on, and we would take Christopher Columbus would go over and land on an
Or
island like Jamaica
listen,
and
Jen, I'm
kill
not
all
trying
the
to call you
Jamaican
old, but
men.
I don't take credit for anything that America did
Yeah.
before like Clinton. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware. Really, Bush is the first president I could have maybe voted for. I didn't vote for him. I
It's
was
like I've said to you before, I wanna
I
live in
could
your
only
life, in your
I
world
could
just for
only
one day.
vote for Obama. So I don't know what you're talking about with this British Empire. No, I'm just kidding. I've had I have to crack open my history books, Jen. That's
You need to, my God. Right, okay,
I'm
let me
just
see there.
kidding.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm glad we've got somebody here who sounds a little bit
No, go right ahead.
more in tune. A lot of Native American tribes took in the free slaves after slavery. Oh, did they? But they didn't use them as slaves, did they? They took them in and sort of helped them, did they?
Yeah, it's like what's the rest of that story? But no, like there's there no, it like I say it as a joke, but there's a lot of I guess mixed race native people and black people.
Yeah. Well,
Because there's a yeah.
you know why? Because like, where my where my sort of recent family comes from, Jamaica. Oh, they took them in like family. That makes me feel happy.
Oh,
I love
nice.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
Good
There
for
was
them.
there was a woman I went to university with and she was
You went to
part n-
university?
I did.
Jesus. Did you?
You can't tell by talking to me, huh? But
No, I
no,
can't.
it's,
Not when we're talking
oh,
about Black history. No.
yeah, well, because I'm
Jesus.
black and you're mixed race. That's where all the miscommunications coming from. Clearly, it's that people don't realize how different it is being culturally black and being like there's different ways of being black.
Absolutely. I agree
And
100%, and I hold my
yeah,
hand up. I am not culturally black. No, I
Jen,
hold
in
my hand
some
up.
ways, I'm not either. That's what's so funny because people look at me and assume because of the way I grew up and X, Y, and Z, but I don't present in a lot of different ways, that people would expect me as a black woman too. And sorry, it's like I don't know what to tell you.
Don't tell me about the guy at the bus stop again. I've heard it too many times. Do not
Oh, be
tell me about the guy
quiet.
at the bus stop again, all right?
But
We
it's just
don't wanna
like,
hear it.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Native Americans believe that we are all family and we share this earth and we work together to take care of it. I love that. I love that. I love that. Um,
It's,
as I was
oh,
as I
sorry,
was
go ahead.
saying, the Jamaicans as and a lot of the countries that were taken over from
Mm-hmm.
the British, right? And also the Spanish and the Dutch. Don't you ever wonder why certain countries in America, not in America, in Africa, speak Dutch? Do you not know that? Or, there's
No, I
part.
do. That's why I was into
Did you,
French when
did
I was
you,
younger.
sorry?
I said I was into French because there was this I don't know, it was a long story, but when I was in elementary school, so it was like grades 2 or 3, something like that. There was a woman from I can't even remember the country, but it was a country in Africa, and she came and she just taught us like about how her life was, and I was so like infatuated with her and just the colors of her cloth and just everything it
Mm,
meant to be like an African woman that she was like telling us, right? And part of it was that her country was
taken
colonized.
over?
That I think that's the word.
Colonized
Yeah,
by the
I
Dutch.
always by the French and
Oh, by the
she
French,
spoke
okay.
yeah. So that's why little Edna wanted to speak French. So that's why I je peux un peu français? Something like that.
Yeah, you haven't got a clue really, have you, darling? But never
Not at
mind.
all.
Oh dear. I tell you what, though, I just think you are so incredibly sweet. I just
Oh,
you just make me smile. You do. And I really try not to sound condescending to you because I know that's one of my traits. I can't help it. It's just the way I
you're
am. But
failing miserably, but it's okay. No.
Oh, but I think you probably know that of me. I think you know that,
Mhm.
I just think you're an absolute darling. I really do. And you do make me giggle. You do.
Yeah,
There are
and
some
I get
existing
you.
tribes today that have black roots. Yes, because they took in the freed slaves. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Do you know what? I'm definitely gonna research the um the original Americans. I'm fascinated by it. I
It
say I'm
really is
fascinated
fascinating.
by it, but I get quite upset by it as well. I think because I know, my ancestors were, involved in some of that, and I just hate to think of them being taken over by the Brits or by the Spanish or by the Germans. I just think it's awful um, that countries did that and to a certain extent still do that. That's part of the trouble in Syria, Edna.
Mhm.
People sort of saying, "Oh, Salah's from Syria, but he's living in Kuwait." Yeah, well, his family had to evacuate Syria because a lot of the Middle Eastern countries are still at war from other Middle Eastern countries,
These people
and
have
Syria and
no
Liberia.
idea what it means to be a refugee or to you know what I mean? Like to have no sense of roots to your
I
land, or maybe
know.
they do, but they don't in this sense. Because if they did, they wouldn't say these things. It's absurd, you know?
Yeah,
It's like to talk about his passport in that way. Like if you and it's easy to say with the American passports. I imagine it's similar for you, uh, being British. But I got my passport and I don't really think too much about it. Like the biggest problem is like paying for the trip or blah blah blah. But I'm not really thinking about like if I need to get a visa or travel. Also, I'm not trying to go to countries that are on that have travel advisories and things like that. So I like to think I would be smart with my international travel. But
you have to be. You
yeah,
have to
but it's
be.
like for them to even speak about him and his limited passport in that capacity, like let's hope that you're not in a situation where you legitimately need to flee the country for your life. You know what I mean? And you
It
can't go back.
exactly, and I mean, as much as I despise foodie, it amazes me that people and I do, I just think she's just revolting. I can't think of another word for her. I still think that I wish people would look more at the the overall picture, and I don't mean her, forget her. But, do people know what's actually happening in Syria and
I
why
don't
that
think
man
they
is
have any
actually there?
idea.
I
Because I
mean,
mean, you heard me talk for 2 seconds. You know I don't know, but I know
I
enough to know
know.
that it's not a good situation,
It's an
and it's been
awful
like that for
situation.
years. And
I've
it's like you
actually
talk about modern day slavery and things of that nature, like that's legitimately going on right now in his home country or in
Mhm.
neighboring countries. Like this is real life.
But it's not only that, it's also that Syria suffers, geographically, from, earthquakes and aftershocks.
Oh.
And so, some of these poor survivors that have survived their civil war, which was, predominantly with, Iran,
Mm.
the UK and the Americans also got involved in that. and have bombed Syria. Um, so there's been a hell of a lot of loss of life in Syria. But not only that, but because of, where it is, they've suffered enormous catastrophic earthquakes. So the people out there are desperate. So what happened with us um, is, I mean, and the war, which people don't seem to realise, it's been like 12 years. And although it's settled, it can still flare up. And every so often, somebody come along and throw a bomb at it, It's still controlled by different forces like the British or the American in certain areas. There's a huge war going over there, but people don't want to know about it. People are just talking about Syria because they know that, Chantel's over there. She got herself a Syrian boyfriend. But what people don't realise is he's probably a refugee or his family are refugees. So he will not
Mhm.
be as he won't be able to travel as much as if he was a Kuwaiti citizen.
Well, and
And
that's to say, what about his education? Like, is she's talking?
God
They're
knows what
talking
his
about.
education is.
Yes, because it's like we know what the American university system's like. You talking about?
I
But
know.
but
Honestly,
seriously,
I'm surprised that such a supposedly forward-thinking country has such a poor education system. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think America lets down its people 100%. And that's why a lot of them go to foreign countries to get their education. That's a fact. What's messed up is that those tribes that have black in them are not recognized as actual tribes. That is disgusting and really
wow,
sad.
interesting.
Very sad. Yes, sorry, Fupa. I was just going off on one. And the way they assumed he was part of ISIS and was going to kidnap her. I know, that's ridiculous. Sometimes you do get a grain of truth in that, people will say, oh, well, he's classed as a second-class citizen in Kuwait. That's probably true because,
Hmm.
his family are Syrian. But, I mean, I have to say also, and I don't want to make, ignorant blanket statements, but over here, we had to start shutting the door on certain Syrians coming over, and that was because they were leaving the women over in their war-torn country, in their devastated country, and the young guys were coming over, and some of them were doing quite nasty things. So, yeah, over here, I think I'm right in saying we stopped a lot of the young, single Syrian men coming over for that
Hmm.
reason, because they came over and did things they shouldn't be doing.
And that's interesting because that's kind of one of the theories about Salah getting married is 29-ish or however old he's supposed to be as a single male. It's like that's the reason why he would get married because they're starting to crack down um on Syrian refugees,
I
single
think
male
other
Syrian
countries
refugees.
I think other countries have done the same.
Yeah.
Because if you get an influx of people, and it does seem, I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying that it is just young men that came over here, but I think, Syria was definitely one of the countries that
Mhm.
made the Brits sort of, sit up and think, Oh, the same thing happened with certain African countries like Somalia. We had a major problem with Somalian young men for the same reason. They'd leave all their, the women back in Somalia, and they'd come over and have a whale of a time criminally as well.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
but I don't want to tar everybody with the same brush. You shouldn't, but I can only talk about what we saw as a problem with with some refugees. I don't think the same thing happened with the Poles. We've also had a lot of Poles come over and Bulgarians, was it? Can't remember.
Mhm.
And I don't think it was the issue was so much with that because they would normally come over with their families. Um,
Mhm.
but I think when you get to a stage where you've got a country that's just sending over all their young men, um, and they're not behaving properly, then you're going to have issues. Right, let
Right.
me see
Like
what
they're
Tell said. But I will say him wanting to marry for yeah, yes, of course it is. I agree with you, and I think we can all sort of guess. I think you need to look, these people. This is why some of these drama channels, or what are they called, reaction channels, if they just did a little bit of research into countries and things, their reactions and their opinions would be so much more um, true, if you like. I don't think there's anybody
Mhm.
that responds to her, and I don't even like to say her name, um, as just because she is morbidly obese. I think it's because of the fact that she's absolutely a nasty person, really. I just think she's awful. Um, but
It's
I
kind
I
of like a chicken and the or the egg kind of situation, Jan, don't you think? Because it's on one hand, oh, I'm about to put my foot in my mouth. You know what? I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead.
No,
Keep
do
going.
it, do it. It's only a couple of us here. People don't watch me, so you're all right. You can just say what you want. I don't mind.
I mean, it I hate when people do this, so I'm just gonna say it. But it's a
Mhm,
little bit like how like you can almost look at somebody and say, people like to say, "Oh, you can't tell how healthy someone is by looking at them," right?
mhm.
But we can look at Foodie and tell that she's not healthy.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have to be doctors to know that. Because some of us have been there, but some of us are closer to healthy than not, and know that if we're not, wherever we are, if she thinks she's healthy, she's mistaken. That's just it is what it is.
Mhm.
And it's just mind-boggling the fact that she presents herself in this way and it's so clearly not the case.
I think for me, one of the most alarming things is that she gives so many different people such a bad name. She gives morbidly obese women a bad name, um, because she acts in such a way that is so repulsive to everybody that all people can do is shudder and say, "God, she's just like a hog." Do you know what I mean? And you can't,
Yeah.
if you've got any sort of hint of decency, you're going to look at that and be absolutely repulsed by it. I know I am.
Mhm.
But I think there's something else with Chantel, which I have seen touched on a few times, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but hey, it's my channel, so I can. I wonder why the only men that she gets are men in situations that are I've put it completely wrong, but let me say vulnerable men. So we know
Yeah.
we know Nada was a
Well,
uh
because
was
she's a
from
vulnerable woman.
no, I don't believe that. I don't believe she's vulnerable at all. And I believe that the reason she goes, I'll put it out there, the reason she goes for these vulnerable men is because she can lord it over them. She can pay them, which is what they want because none of them have got money. And, it's to me, it's almost predatory what she does. Because if you look at, has she actually ever had an ordinary, and they are ordinary men, I know that, but has she ever had a Canadian boyfriend?
Neat,
See,
right?
I think Fu Patel's is understanding. What gets me is how she always sees herself as a victim. Yes, absolutely. She fetishizes them, but does she? Does she? Does she just go for these men because she can't get any other man?
And that's what I was
That's what
gonna say. I don't think
I
it's
think.
like,
Oh,
is she
Pete.
really
Yeah, Pete. But look at Pete's. Pete's is obviously on the spectrum. Okay. And the only reason she got with Pete's is because they went to school together. That's the only reason. She didn't meet him on a night out like most of us do. Most of my boyfriends I've met when I've been out, or some people meet but guys at work, or they meet their partners at work, or something like that. I honestly believe that she does prey on them. That's what I think, and that, to me, just makes her even more of a despicable human being, because the last 4 men, I don't know what Baby's status was. What was his status? I know he was black,
I
but
don't know.
was he Canadian? I mean, what was his status? But you look at
That's
Nada,
what
he can barely
mhm.
speak English. This new guy, he can't speak English, so she goes over and moves over there. I mean, God, I really feel if there's anything, if there was, I wish there was like a law against what she does and that she was held responsible. I really do, because we have to remember she's 40 years old. She knows what she's doing. And in her quest to be found attractive or loved, she goes for these men that have come from war-torn countries or are over here for some reason. He was an immigrant from Jamaica. So he'd obviously come over to Canada to, you know, make a life for himself in Canada. Yeah. His family migrated there when he was young. Okay. But, I mean, was he okay, BB? I mean, I didn't follow her there. I don't follow her anyway, but I don't know much about him. But I will say, this word predator gets brandished around, and people get told off for using it, and, "Oh, no, you shouldn't say this, you should." Well, I'm sorry, but I would like to hear what her reasons are for going for these men. Why is she going on these sites looking for young men from Syria?
Because she's not being chose. She's not being chosen by, I guess, anybody. Like, she couldn't get Natter or whatever. So she had to.
And the reason she went so hard for Nada or Nada, um, is because he was the first man in a long, long time that touched her. That was why she fell for him. She almost had a sex life with him, almost. And she loved it when he claimed her as a boyfriend, or
Did
sorry,
you
as a
hear
girlfriend
him?
for a week. For a week, she was in her element, so much so that she couldn't drop it. So what she would do, I know what she used to do. She'd go over there, offer herself up sexually, which he would probably take because he's a man at the end of the day. And by doing that, it enabled her to believe she was in a relationship still with him, but she wasn't. She
Jen,
wasn't.
I think Monty is going live talking about Natter and everything because it just reminded me
Okay, then.
of
Well,
yeah,
look, that's fine. I've been on for over 2 hours, which was enough. Thank you so much, Fupa, for coming in and joining in the chat. Please tell a few people about us over here. My streams normally go on for a couple of hours if Edna comes on. Um, because
because I always drag it on and on.
but that's
I'm
fine. That's
I
fine.
just think the predatory treats had predatory. I get what you're saying, but it when does it become a predator though? You know what I mean? Because she's not at an advantage. She's not really doing it like major hunting.
Well, she was though. That's how she
Well,
found them. That's how she found these guys.
yeah, but
She was, wasn't she?
they're kind of the disadvantage though, right? That's the whole point. Natter
They
is
are
a
disadvantaged.
criminal, yeah,
Yeah.
in the country and everything. Yeah, but she's also disadvantaged too. She's not able to. I don't know. I feel like I'm being mean. You don't see what I'm saying?
I think so, and I'm agreeing with you. I do believe that a lot of the reason, another reason she goes for these men is because she can't get any other man.
Exactly. And it's like, well, not what do you expect? Because it's not okay for her to take advantage of.
No, it's
Um,
not. But then because because these boys are, well, I call them boys, because these men
but they
are,
know,
they know, of course, and Nada knew and beat her at her own game. But I'm
right?
not sure that Sala is gonna be able to do that. I'm
That's
not
kind of you
sure.
win some, you lose some, Jan. You know what I mean? Like he thought he was gonna get a player. The thing the thing is between Murad, Allah, and Salah, he drew the short stick,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
and they said, hey, sometimes that's what happens. You got to figure it out. So
Yeah,
he stuck with it.
but listen, supposing she this guy has probably never known a comfortable life because his family brought him over from Syria. Maybe they had a good life in Syria. But now that they're in Kuwait, they live in the Syria part of Kuwait, which isn't particularly attractive. I don't think it's nice there at all. It looks like a concrete jungle, and
Hmm.
they're all like, Syrian mice just scuttling around in there. It's just what happens with some refugees when they come over. Um, so look at
That's
it from his
not
point of view.
Chantal's fault.
I'm not saying it's her fault, but what I'm saying is he wants to get out of it.
And he
and you
thought that
can't.
she was the way.
Yeah, and
And we're watching him F around and find him.
yeah,
And that's what's amazing.
yeah, as Food Patel says, these men know, but they're quite savvy. And well, I'm not sure if Sala is, to be honest. From what I've seen of him, I mean, I don't want to diagnose or anything, but he's playing the game right. He's not, he's not as hateful as the other one was, who turned out to be like a real piece of garbage. Now,
Well, I mean, we're dealing with shisha versus heavy math, so that's a big difference.
yeah, I personally believe that if she does get him over here, which I think is her ultimate goal, he'll
Mhm.
be off. He'll be off. Why would he want to stay with her?
Well, it just depends on where they're at that juncture, you know. We don't know the whole story. I think, in due time it'll probably come out. But because these ladies in the red rooms and things, if he's really chatting them up, they're gonna be upset at some point of being
Yeah.
the side piece to Foodie Beauty. So
You
it'll
know
come out
what I
if it's
really
meant to.
hope? What I really hope, and I have this hope for all people that use other human beings and for predators and manipulators. My hope is that she gets her just desserts and she
Mhm.
ends up alone. That's what my hope is for her, because I think the
Well,
way
I
she
think she's getting it. That's what we're seeing. The fact that we're just seeing mukbang after mukbang of her in the room
yeah, well, she's got to
like
clear
that
her debt first. She's got to
is
clear her debt, and apparently she's got huge debts over in Canada that she needs to settle before she can bring him back in, because in order to get him in here into Canada, she has to sponsor him, and
Jan.
because
They have
he
no concept of finances or money.
no, no. I
The
mean, that
food
side of
bill
it is
alone
great.
is drowning them. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's caught up to Sala or Foodie Chantal yet, how
Mm.
bad it is. So I mean, that's why I'm like, this is crazy. When you really think about it.
It is, and I mean, I don't feel sorry for him particularly, but as a human being, I actually do feel sorry for him, because she's using him. She is,
He
and I
was
know
trying to use
he's not a likable person. I don't like him, but I am a humanitarian, and I don't like to see a human being used, and she is playing with him. She's playing with him the way she plays with that mouse or that hamster,
yeah.
you
You know
know?
what? I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm like a beater at heart. I hate to say it because it's just like she's got to be so miserable.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just kind of like he's playing with her, so like it is what it is. And if he was serious, he'd be like, "No, baby, we're going to the gym. Like your treat is gonna be a salad. No, we're gonna go to the grocery store. I'm not gonna bring you your food." You know what I mean? Like if he was serious,
He
but he's
can't
not.
do that though. He can't do that because she holds the
Why can't
purse
he?
strings. He can't do that. He has to do
Those
everything that
per
she wants
he
to
is being
do.
so he is being so short-sighted because and listen, I don't know. So I'm
I
just
tell you
watching.
what, I'm just
But
glad that it's not one of my sons, because I would do jail for that bitch. If she got her hands on one of my boys, I tell you what, no,
That's when
no.
people talk about his family. Like, first of all, his mom isn't there, so that's obvious, but you know, but he doesn't have any other family. Because if he had the family to like get him married to a proper woman or whatever, that would have been done.
Yeah, yeah, if he's 29. Right, let me see. I'm going to Google this. Refugee crisis explained. What is a refugee crisis in 2023? An ongoing refugee crisis began in Africa. I thought we were talking about Syrian. Right. No. See, the other thing, and I was gonna do this in silence while you talked,
Oh,
um,
sorry.
but you stopped talking. Let me see. Right. Okay. I wanted to
But I
check
know
out.
we kid about me bringing it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
uh, Okay, I wanted to. Okay, right, right. I've typed in Syrian refugees burial uh, in Kuwait. Let's put in Kuwait for refugees. Kuwait. Right. Let me see. Kuwait to support. Okay, I don't want to say that. Um, See, I wonder if you know um the cemetery she went to the other day where she disgustingly filmed. I tell you what, if someone was filming when I went to see one of my loved ones in a cemetery, they'd end up wearing their camera. I tell you.
I'm not that offended by it, to be honest with
Oh, I'm
you.
disgusted in it.
Uh,
Absolutely. 100.
mm,
Ugh. Anyway,
like,
what I was trying to look for was,
mhm.
to see if the refugees have a different, cemetery. I can't really find it quickly here, in Kuwait, because I did think I did think that grave what's it called? Cemetery, um, didn't look like a regular cemetery to me. There were no names there. There were no headstones as such. And it was unkempt. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, yeah, but it's in it's in dust and, in sand." But I wonder if, his poor mother was buried in a refugee cemetery. Um, yeah, so hang on, let me just read this. I think he sponsors her currently. Yeah, because they've got to try and keep together so that when they come back over to Kuwait, to Canada, they go back as a married couple, isn't it? So yeah, he is sponsoring
Right.
her as
I
her
say right,
husband.
like I have any idea. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
it'd be
sounds about
sad, but
right.
they seem to not be close. Yeah, I just think it's sad, and I think um, if she has lost everything and it's her own fault. She has, hasn't she? She's given up absolutely everything. And there's another part to this story that is really, really very sad, and that's that this woman has got no self-esteem. No, she doesn't care. I really think she's given up the will to care about anything, really. Um,
It
because
does kind
to
of feel that way, yeah.
It does, doesn't it? And I just wish that
Ooh,
people would stop talking about her, let her rot over in Kuwait and let that young man get away from
We
her.
can. First of all, the just to see her sweat in the hijab and the abaya is comedy in and of itself. And
Yeah,
for her to talk about traveling to go make the pilgrimage, Shan, the Everest base camp,
mhm.
I can't make it from her couch to her
She's having
refrigerator.
a laugh. She's having a laugh. But I'm going to go now. Do you mind if I go now, Edna? Is that all right? Edna keeps me on here for hours. Edna, it's been 2 hours and 2.5 hours. I
This
was only
is
coming
so
on for an hour.
funny. I
Um,
know.
food potatoes. What I normally do is I do like an hour. This is how I have to do it now because otherwise, if I let Edna on, I don't get any work done. And so what I try and do is like do my tutorial first, and then I'll have Edna on, and then we just
Uh,
chat and we can talk for hours on end. It's ridiculous, especially as we don't even agree with each other.
right.
That's the funniest
I'm
thing.
like, Jan, and you're so wrong, and this is the reasons why. Okay,
Yeah,
she has lost everything, and it's her own damn fault. I
yeah.
don't think so, because if she goes back to Canada, you know Peace is gonna be right there to be her roommate again.
I'm not sure if he'll come back to her though.
I
What's
think you
also sad
would.
is that she dropped the only person who was loyal to her. I can't.
He's still he's still not even dropping the beans about the apartment and how much he has to pay for damages and stuff. We have no idea. That man is gonna be right there when she has to come back.
What is he having to fork out for the damages?
I don't know, but we would assume he would. He
Oh
was stumping
God.
down kitty litter in the drains. It was complete nonsense.
Oh no. He needs to go and find himself a nice young lady and, forget about
Oh,
that
Jan, oh,
peace. Let's not start discussing peace because we're bound to disagree on that as well. I need to get off and make myself a cup of tea.
what woman, Jan, are you gonna sacrifice for the better good?
I don't
I'll give you
know.
18 hours to come up with a name, but
Do you
just
know what?
think
I
about what
don't
you're
think,
subjecting this poor woman to. That's all I have to say.
I honestly
And on that
think
note, I just want to no.
we're not gonna agree on peace. We're definitely not gonna agree, so we'll save it. Maybe till tomorrow we'll see if I come
Maybe
on and
Monty. I
get some
think that's
work
the
done.
best
Oh
we
yeah,
can
on
do.
Monty. Yeah. Okay.
Or
I'm gonna
DLF.
go
That's it.
now. Take care of
But
yourself,
I am
Super.
too much of a feminist to to sacrifice a fellow woman.
Right,
I,
okay.
I
You
can't even
you
Jen,
wouldn't
I
have
can't
to
even believe
sacrifice
that you would
them.
say that.
Oh, for
I
goodness
can't
sake.
believe you would bye. I'm just saying that was a lie. I think we might have to hashtag cancel Jan. Tell Hussy.
I
Goodbye.
tell you what, it wouldn't be the first time I've been cancelled. Why do you think I've got nobody coming over here? But do you know what? I like it like this. I love it like this. We could just chat. I've got no nasties coming in. This is great. This is great for me.
Yeah.
I'm a happy bunny.
It's
Right.
so
So
much
I want to
fun.
say thank you to everybody who's either popped in or is watching it on feedback,
Replay.
replay. Oh, I'm
Jan, are you
delirious.
relaxed too?
Not now. I'm never That's the thing. You see, you come on and you're always so like, oh, I'm really chill. I'm really chill. By the time we go, I'm the one who's like blowing smoke up my ears. Oh, but it's always fun. So,
Yeah.
I'll see you around, Edna, all right?
Bye. See
You
you.
take it easy, darling. I'll see you around. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Gotta love Edna. Yeah, so I might be live tomorrow doing another tutorial. I might give myself a day off. Who knows? A lot of it depends at what mood I'm in. To be honest, I work every day, so yeah, it's quite easy for me to come on for an hour or 3 if Edna joins. In the meantime, I want to wish you a very happy evening, and you take care of yourselves out there. It's a rotten old world, guys. Bye bye for now.